So I was looking up the 2009 kind of like what the fall we're getting up to. And it's really funny because I was finding that Mark was doing another one of those little side journeys with Ed Blaney and playing all these weird ass venues and like one-off gigs and even like two night gigs back to back nights. And they're playing churches, people's private residences, backyards. And I want to just read you one of one of these little kind of fall head reviews. I will say the reviews, as you would expect, Steve, very, very mixed on the quality of Mark's performance and Ed Blaney's performance as well. So this one is from when they performed in a church, I believe. We waited patiently in our pews for Marky Smith and Blaney to glide in, apparently from the pub across the road. Instead of roadies with ponytails and those little maglite torches, we had presumably the organists clamoring around on the stage to put some sheet music back in the cabinet. A nice change. Blaney came in first, picked up the acoustic guitar, and started Metal Claw. He asked for the house lights to go down. They didn't. He asked for the volume to go up. It did. However, Blaney had the occasion to harass the sawman on several further occasions during the set, demanding mostly extra volume. Marky Smith then comes on and joins in, and we get into the good evening salutation. I'm not going to comment on what he looked like because it doesn't really matter. We have to get away from all that, I think. Stick to the sound. I agree. I think Marky Smith sounds great on these softer plaintive songs, and on occasion tonight, I thought that the singing was great. There's a one point where Mark came back on stage to join Blaney after a short spell off stage, picked up a mic, and immediately started producing noise like a meat sizzling on a frying pan, and then some lovely singing. Marky Smith is, on occasion, also playing some additional fragments of sound from his handheld tape recorder. Now, that's pretty cool. That was a kind of a cool little vibe that they're setting. I would love to see them in someone's backyard. I was like, that sounds great. It sounds like people were very psyched about, like, hearing him do his thing in a different context, but then also some people said they saw him multiple days, and this is what one of the reviews how one of the fall heads writes. Not long after they enter the stage, the gig starts. Same set list as the day before, but after a good 30 minutes or so, the sound is starting to get worse. So it is cut a little bit short. It didn't matter much. Ed ended up with a marvelous, loud backing tape of his Bulgarian field recordings, which is excellent stuff. A spontaneous encore was provided backstage afterwards, followed by more beer and lots of smiles and record signings and so on. It was a very special evening. Many thanks for setting up this special, memorable gig. So I mean, that's fun. That's cool.
Yeah,
Mark's getting after it.
I like this one. It says the encore from the friend's house in Copenhagen. The encore took place in the adjacent laundry room.
I like that too. I like half of the reviews of around this time period of these Smith and Blaney gigs are basically, it was great. It was shit. It was marvelous. It was fucking crap. It was like it's just back and forth. It's just so black and white, whether it's shit or not. And it's basically the people that think it's shit. They're like, this is definitely not the fall. And then so there's someone else that's always chiming in. It's like, did you read the fucking tickets? It's definitely not the fall.
Yeah, no,
Performing.
exactly.
So, I mean, that's so funny, but I was
Yeah,
also yeah.
and then that whole tour got cut short when he broke his hip for the second time.
Yes, so that's when it gets into well, it's sad when we look back on it with the actual facts, but yeah, so the news comes out that they have to cut a bunch of dates because he broke his hip. It turns out Laney later, like 10 years later, spills the details, which he didn't have to do, that he had a kidney removed because he had cancer. So he had a kidney removed, he was in a wheelchair, and then he's performing not that long after. I think she said he was in the wheelchair and he went right into the studio in the wheelchair and they were recording. So
Yeah, I
that just
mean,
shows that dude is not slowing down.
he performed on Saturday the 14th in February
Yeah.
2009, and then the next show was March 31st, 2009.
I mean,
So,
this guy doesn't take a fucking break.
no, I mean, it's like it's a month and a half.
You get one of your organs removed and you're just gonna go into the studio and then go immediately start doing dates again? Start doing shows again? I mean, that just shows, like, even at the end of it, he was back in the wheelchair and he might have been like, "Man, I've done this before. I fucking just keep doing it." Not that much of a change of pace.
Yeah, I
But
mean, you just gotta
yeah.
hire someone to push him around so he can fuck with everything still.
Yeah,
And
exactly,
sing at the
exactly.
same time.
Exactly,
How am
yeah.
I gonna
I
hold
mean,
2 mics, work these wheels, and mess with the amps?
that's the funny part, like, I mean, that we covered the Fall of Glastonbury where Mark comes out with the Gorillas, right? And as a little bonus, and Mark comes out and performs with the Gorillas, and it's funny because he's got his lyric sheet, but then he's still fucking with amps. It's not even his band, and he's still fucking with amps, and he doesn't give a fuck, and that's I mean, that just shows that was, like, it's just, like, fucking getting off on setting people slightly askewed. That's fucking
Yeah,
beautiful.
this is his home, right? Like, after all this
Yeah.
time, like, the
The
stage
stage?
is
Yeah.
yeah, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
gets to be as whatever persona he wants that night.
Yeah, totally. But today, Steve, what are we getting into? It's another special day when we got a full length LP. What are we getting into in 2010?
2010, April 26th of April 2010, on Domino Recording Company, we have Your Future, Our Clutter. Full-length
Now,
album, we've got Marky Smith, Peter P.P. Greenway on guitar, David the Eagle Spur on bass, Kieran Melling drums and percussion, Eleni Palu on keyboards, bass, and backing vocals.
yeah. Now, this is the first time I believe that the Fall have made back-to-back albums with the same personnel in 17 years. Isn't
Wow,
that
okay.
isn't that
Yeah.
crazy? Isn't that fucking nuts? I just like it's also we have to also take into account though that this is the era where they're not doing an album every year, right? I mean, it's basically every year, but it's kind of every 2 years at this point. And it's just kind of interesting that they're finally, I don't know, there's a semblance. It's a very short pattern to acknowledge that to back albums, but at least there is a pattern of consistency here. And I just wanted to read you this thing that Mark said about this lineup, this group at this time. It's a good balance, and I hope to keep it going. Touch wood. You've got Pete. That's who Cowboy George is about. And he's really into this weird rockabilly. And then you've got the rhythm section who are really into Motorhead and shit like that. And then you've got Eleanor who's into German experimental stuff. It's a nice combination. And I like that Mark is actually acknowledging. I think this is the point. Like, it's very interesting. He kind of just went through a little health scare. He got an organ removed, got cancer, get it out. He's all right for, he's all right, feeling good going back on stage. But he's kind of like, man, is there something that he might be appreciating more and like acknowledging is a special thing when he's got it instead of just looking forward? He's like kind of, or being present and looking forward. I just wonder if that's something that's going through his head at this point, having a good band and appreciating it.
Yeah, the appreciation is what just kinda doesn't drive you crazy, but you're just like, "What how mad would you be for all of the previous members when you're finally like, oh, now you
Yeah.
settle down and look around and smile at what you have," like,
Yeah.
instead of being, going for the not the next thing, but yeah, it's alright. Everybody deserves a and then they don't really slow down, but
No.
deserves that peace and happiness, and if if you can find a rhythm that makes it interesting enough for them.
He had to appreciate multiple lineups, but I think just being outspoken about it is a totally different thing that you never have really seen. I mean, he says The Fall are the greatest band, like, he'll say, like, stuff like that, and that's half of that is, a little bit of a showmanship, of course, but then the other half of it is he knows when he's got good musicians around him because it's fucking rocking on all levels, but him to be outspoken and say, "Man, this is a good group," and I'm, like, knocking on wood that I hope it stays together, right? It's almost like he feels like it's out of his control, even though it is completely almost in his control whether it moves forward or not. That's kind of a intriguing thing too.
And I mean, it might. I'm not saying these guys aren't good at all, but like it might also be he knew when he had very talented artists around him, and he could push harder and push and
Mm,
change, and make go for that extra thing that at this point in his career he might not be either interested in, or it's not available, or he doesn't want
mm.
it as much as he did in the past, or he's like, okay, that was great, but what if there's something greater even next?
Yeah, and it yeah, what he's always interested in the change, but then him just saying, "Oh, the rhythm section's into Motorhead," Greenway's into some weird ass rockabilly, and then Eleanor's into experimental, weird experimental German stuff. That's all stuff that he likes. And that's kind of fun that he's like, maybe I found a group that where it all meshes together instead of like making fun of someone for liking something that's in the top 50 that he would do all the time,
Yeah.
just to cut someone down in the press just for fun. But what do you think, Steve, about this album, Your Future Our Clutter? Overall, we're coming off of Imperial Wax Solvent in 2008. It's 2 years later, and we got the same group. What is there anything that's, like, striking you in similarity or difference?
Not I mean, the sound is similar, just overall. I like the long tracks.
Mhm.
9 tracks, 50 minutes. They're all not all. There's two shorter ones, but most of them are all over 5 minutes. But they're not I think they all have enough to each of them that makes it make sense that they're all long versus just
Yeah, yeah,
a slog to get through it.
yeah, and honestly, ugh, have The Fall ever had a 9-track album? I don't know if they have, like, they've had 10-track album, we're not gonna put Slates in this category just for this sake of a full LP. Room to Live, okay, Room to Live, they had 7 tracks. Alright, that's interesting too. That's almost sound like a Perverted by Language, they had 8 tracks on the album. So they have been under it, and so they have been around there, but I guess it's just interesting in this era when there's a lot of
Yeah, once they went CD,
CD.
they weren't as
Mhm.
nervous to add to make the bonus tracks official, you know?
To fill it
Um,
in, and that was not necessarily with filler, but to fill it up. Yeah. So, yeah, know what I feel about this album is, like, the last one was so solid, Imperial Wax Solvent. There's something about it I really liked, but then I was kinda let down by, like, the strength of the songs and the songwriting, and this one, it just totally nails both of those things. The
yeah,
sound, the
yeah, I think
weirdness, the songwriting.
yeah, the weirdness, the amount of experimental things that they're doing on it is just done really well.
Yeah, it is. And it's like they're not trying to do too much.
And
It's just enough, hitting
the
perfectly.
it's not like I felt like a lot of their other stuff was just weird to be weird, right? Like it was just they're like, "Oh yeah, let's
Sure.
do this weird ass shit right in the middle of this thing that doesn't really make any sense," which is fine, but like everything that's on here like has its place in the song and carries it forward.
Yeah, serving the song. Even when you have, like, basically the same song 3 times within itself, you're kinda like, "No, that's actually the same song repeated for a purpose," right? But in a different way, which it kind of it's kinda like the next step in the process, which I really enjoy too.
And
And that
I
yeah.
like that they did that versus
Uh-huh.
Barry Parts 1 as the 2nd track, Barry Parts 2 as the 5th track, and Barry Parts 3 as the 8th track, and you're just
Yeah.
like, I like, all together, at least you're experiencing it all at once, and you're like, "Okay, yeah, 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 okay, I see what you did there," versus I don't really remember the second track. Okay, now I got to go back and see how you changed it. It sounds different, but why is it different?
Mhm. And then you got the tracks like Cowboy George and Funnel of Love, as a cover too, which is interesting, but you got, like, these kinda songs where you hear the influence of the band players, like, come through, like, their own interests, like, of the weird rockabilly Mark's talking about that Pete Greenway likes. It's you hear that coming through, so you're like, it's not just going through the fall filter, it's going through the fall musicians. You know, it's kind of a different thing. It sounds like the band is finding themselves and where they fit in the band, which I really love. And Mark's lyrics on this album are wild and cool, and it's just one that I just really wanna just keep listening to because it has so much to give. Not unlike Imperial Wax Solvent, but it's just like a deeper pool to jump into. That
Yeah,
one, I
this
feel
is
like you got it pretty quick, but this one is like, "Oh, I gotta get more of this."
yeah, they're comfortable, right? Like
Mhm.
which is not usually what you want in the fall. Is comfortable, and Mark certainly doesn't. But they're all feeling the groove, which is I think is maybe what you missed a little bit, where with it changing from album to album to album, like
Yeah.
it didn't build on what was ahead of it, which what is I think what we like about this so much is listening to them back to back like we're doing.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, Imperial Wax Solvent solid for 2 weeks, and then we go right into this, and you're like, "Oh, sweet." It's really just playing on what we heard before
Mhm.
and expanding it in a unique and cool way.
Yeah, that's definitely right, and then there's also this kind of thing that I noticed on the last couple listens, which is they did some more I don't know if this was forced upon them or they just did it automatically, which is they did some self-editing, which is kind of you don't see it out there as, like, evidence, but in on the LP version, right, it's like a reordered version of the CD plus a couple tracks, 986 generator, and get a summer song going, and and they these tracks are cut from the CD, so you're just like, "Wow, they really were, like, thinking about it in some sort of it's not necessary, right? Like, they trimmed the fat, which I really love. And there is a story about they recorded this album. They had a one-off contract with Domino Records, right? So they had just a contract for one album, one and done. And so they gave them the final master that they thought was gonna be the final master. And the story goes that Domino Records came back and is like, "No, why don't you guys keep working on that?" And so if that is true, then I actually, I'm the I'll be the first to give the a record label credit in that situation because whatever if they even if they did nothing, whatever, I don't really know. It came out, like, in this form, this final form that I get to hear, that you get to hear, that we all get to hear together, and it whatever happened to make this happen, you know, thank the Lord. Because it turned out, like, fucking great and spot on. So, I don't know if, like, the record label even gave them notes on anything or they're just like, "Spend some more time." Even if they said something like that, that's great. Because
Yeah,
sometimes I think the fall is kinda, like, ripping along at such a high, like, miles per hour that they're just like, you know, it's a blur, and just, like, kind of the record company maybe saying, "Guys, we're Domino Records, we have the cash, why don't you
yeah,
guys
right.
just go back in there?"
Here's 20 grand
Mhm.
and a little bit more studio time.
Yep.
Just see what you got. See what else you got
Yep.
in it.
Yep. And so, let's see where did they record this? They recorded this at Chairworks Studios in
Yeah,
Castleford,
most of
mo
it was
most
done
of it.
there.
6 DV Studios in Salford, and that's 3 tracks, and then Saddleworth and London. Shit, yeah, they jumped around, so that might have been the case too, but most of it was at Chairworks Studios. So, Steve, I don't know, I really love this album, so I think we should just get into this sucker.
Yeah, I mean, and then it gets mastered elsewhere. It gets mastered at Electrical Mastering in London. That's kind of weird too that they
Huh.
sent it out to get mastered by Chris Potter, who's not who didn't produce it at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's mixed at another different studio, McCall Sound Studio, by one of the producers. So
Well, it sounds fucking great. They
they did
did
it.
it. They
They
did
did it.
it. They did
Yeah, I
it.
mean, and it might have just been Mark's health at the time. He might not have got to put his hands in it as much as he usually does.
Totally. And then it's also kind of fun, like, if you're interested, like we were doing, like, to look at the 2009 gigography and look at some of those photos on the fall.org, because it is pretty cool to see, like, Mark, he's in it's not cool to see him in a wheelchair, but it's cool to see how quickly he bounces back and he's like one gig, he's in the wheelchair,
Yeah,
another gig,
I think
he's
he only
not
had
sick. Yeah,
two gigs in the wheelchair, and then he
I
said, "All
know,
right,
it's
I'm up and at
crazy.
him."
It's crazy. He probably was like, "That's embarrassing," you know?
Yeah,
"I
oh,
gotta
yeah,
get fucking moving."
certainly.
Yeah, gotta be. So, Steve, what are we leading off with on 2010's Your Future, Our Clutter?
We are gonna start with OFYC Showcase, which our future, your
Let's
clutter,
all back. Oh my god.
was
The
maybe
showcase.
the original title of the album. They mixed it up for us.
Yep, yep.
There goes old Gilo. There goes Mar Archibald. There goes old Yates. There goes that Yankee pets. Expats who own Wallace's church. And back for all homes. But run to the Holy Juke. Our digging is such as expats. Hello, future, our Clutter. Hello, future, our Clutter. Our future, your Clutter. Top Tiger, Homeland, Chuck, Campus, Anglo Round. A showcase of broad talent on water.
And I just wanna keep letting that one rip along. It's so hard to let that one fade out. You just gotta let that one just spin the whole time. But we got things to get to here. So, Steve, how do you like that? That nice little kickoff there with the showcase of Our Future, Your Clutter, possibly.
I love they let Mark gets to go off on his little
Mhm.
tangent, set the song up. I like that old school fall keyboard bumping, and then it just kind of gets ripping. Not really sure why he's so mad at the expats. I don't know the expats in England around the world. Like they're making a mess wherever they're going, though.
Well, I think this is a little bit alluding to well, we know that Mark likes writing about the expats as far as the fall catalog goes. There's been multiple songs about those expats you know, going to Spain, going around, and I think we're actually getting a little kind of preview of a track later on down the line where he's talking about Mexico and that's also where I believe the British expats go in Mark's mind if, Spain is too crowded. They go to Mexico. So cheap,
Cheap.
affordable.
Yeah, it was just I just read there's like currently a Mexican protest sort of thing going on.
Huh?
Uh,
Oh,
yeah, the Mexicans are getting pissed at all the Americans going down there,
no, I don't blame them.
yelling at
They're
them.
getting they're getting the Americans going down there getting some of their own medicine, I guess. Even though I think
They're yelling at
those
like
mu those
the expats of not learning their language and not
yeah,
going into their
exactly.
culture and stuff. Yeah,
Assimilating and yeah.
exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
just coming with their cash. Hey, hey, that's what we deserve. But no, what's funny about this one is I like the show when he says the showcase of fall talent, make your
yeah,
land, and then toxic, I'll blend, talk, complete. But then he says a showcase of fall talent of water. What is that? He just adds that little of water at the end and it totally throws it, which I like. Just don't know what is that?
yeah,
Is the fall so fluid that it is like water, right? It's just like
yeah. Of
people
water,
coming
of
in, yeah,
waterfall. Yeah, I don't know.
uh-huh. But it's a fun first track, and I like the way that it hits off with the snare drum sound because it's not like a snary sound. It's like a very hollow drum, and I think that's a little bit of a different sound that the fall is kinda slowly morphing their drum sound into, which is great. Fucking awesome. Love the guitar. The guitar across this whole album, spot the fuck on. It's fucking great. So diverse. What do you think about, in general, the Our Future, Your Clutter? Do you think it's Our Future, Your Clutter, or do you think it's the Falls Clutter?
So there's a couple different references here. Yeah, like you said, to the expats going down to Mexico. I feel like it's the others cluttering up the world. I don't think it's the falls clutter. I think it's he's mad at other people causing clutter in the world.
Mhm. Yeah, I like this phrasing, and also I like that it's never consistent, and we'll get into the album art where it gets even more thrown, which is great. Because I think that the Our Future, Your Clutter, the Your Future, Our Clutter kind of flipping around on itself is just perfect for Mark, and I think if you asked him on a given day what the name of this album was, I think he would tell you either of those things, and it wouldn't really matter, but I like the idea of, you know, the Falls clutter is your future, right? Because what you might perceive as being a discography, a catalog that is so I just like full of albums that I like to think about it like that and that clutterness, it just almost forces you to somehow engage with the fall at some point in time in your future. You are going to run into it. If you're not
Ah,
into it, you are going to be somehow having to be like, "Oh, I Mark E. Smith, that name does sound familiar." Or, "Oh yeah, what was that band that covered the Kinks' Victoria?" You will just get into the bloodstream with being throwing so many, like, little fucking, landmines out there. There's one of them is gonna hit, and I like that. I like that idea. Now, at the same time, I can see it the other way where Mark is looking at it and being like, "There's so much clutter and shit out there that we are the future." Right? The fall is still the
yeah.
future. So I love
Or
I love I love both of it.
it could have just been all of Mark's clutter in his house too, right? Like, oh
Oh,
shit, I got to
yeah.
scoot around in a wheelchair. I got this clutter everywhere. I got carrier bags from 1987 over here that's still full of freaking lyrics. Like, what am I gonna do with all this?
We gotta get rid of some of this shit. He's like, "No, that's my future too."
Yeah, that's your future because I'm gonna be dead and you're gonna have to clean it up.
Yeah, and actually the band this is the band's future because this is actual gold creativity that are in these bags that we need to use on the next album, so do not throw any of this away. Do not organize any of this. Thank you very much. Alright, that's a good lead off track. Let's get into a second track here, and let's get into a three-parter called Barry Parts 1 plus 3. All right. Which of the berries you like to get buried in?
2 or 3, I believe. I
Oh
like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
I think I like to think of maybe that when the record Domino told them to go back to the woodworks, maybe they only bury number 1, and they're like, no, 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 that's not gonna happen. That's
They
shitty.
gave him the first one.
Fucking yeah, and they're like, well, I'm not cutting shit from it, but you can have more. I'll redo it a couple times here. You could have all 3. We're not taking any of them out though.
I love the first one because it sounds like it's just coming out of a car stereo turned up to maximum volume. I just love that. I love that blown out like to a motherfuck. And then but it's kind of interesting too because I don't know if it's necessary that they put the full like basically the full song.
All of them, yeah,
Yeah, no, I
over
mean
and
the
over
full
again.
yeah, it would have been cool if they kind of did a cool like kind of harsh transition where, like, the song didn't start over, but instead it was, like, a harsh transition to the bigger sound and then to the final version, the part 3, and then isn't it so fun that he does parts 1 plus 3 instead of the 1 through 3, the trilogy?
Oh yeah.
That's also so fun. Yeah, it just, like, kind of brings up the question too about the Domino Records influence where Mark is basically saying because the last album, Imperial Wax Solvent, came out on Sanctuary Records, which I guess is subsidiary of Universal, which is interesting. But I'm just wondering if it's like Mark, he's not used to taking his time. He's not used to having a lot of time. So I think slowing him down actually makes him think that maybe the process is going worse than it is, right?
Yeah, I feel like he wants to move on to the next thing once he's satisfied with what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And
Yeah.
yeah, no circling back. Keep moving forward. Why would we do that again? But I don't think it's a bad thing for him
I don't think it's a bad
to.
thing either, but I just think that he I think he might perceive it as the process is not going as smooth or well as it could be if they have so much time, right? Extra time. Then there's like more downtime that he's already not that good with, right? He's good at being in there and doing it and then going to the pub, right? He does the more time that there's like more time doesn't mean that there's more work. That means there's more pub. That's so I think
Yeah,
it is
yeah,
kind
yeah.
of like a little there's like a little bit too much flexibility, and I don't think he likes flexibility. I think he likes rigidity and something like that. But is okay, so let's get into some of these lines because some of these lines are fucking great. I just get killing me every
Yeah.
fucking time. What do you like?
Have you yeah, I was gonna say, have you read the different interviews with him talking about is it the Bury, like,
Oh,
about how it's
the
it's there,
city?
yeah, like,
Yeah,
it's a
or the
city,
town?
the town, yeah, it's a town, and he's like, he's a part of it. His house is in
Mm.
Salford, but it's a part of Bury. And so he's like, "I don't know. I just had to put lyrics to a song." He's like, he says, "I almost regret it." Says, "I don't regret it, but shit, it's gonna actually hit the fan because I actually live in a part of Barrie." But then the town of Barrie fucking loves it, and the city council is like premiering the music video with it,
Uh,
and then like the interviewer
uh,
at the end of it, he's like, Mark finally like is super happy because the interview goes, "Well, I live in Berry Lands." It's berry, like a fruit
yeah,
berry, and he's like, "Oh, yeah,
yeah.
berry," and then they both agree, "Well, there's a lot of berries. Isn't there Shrewsbury?" He's like, "Ah, it's about all the berries. It's not just about the one berry. It's not about the specific town. It's about every English town with a berry in its name."
I like in the song when he's, like, talking about the name of it, and he's like, I'm from Bury, as in Bury, a French composition on a fluted instrument." On a fluted instrument, I can." I mean, that's fucking great, that's fucking great. A fluted instrument, oh, man. I can make strong lands, rendering, writing off of the milk of my elbow, regarding folders, left-handed CD. Left-handed CD is fucking awesome. I love that. That's just me. I mean, if I have to like kind of go into what that is from my perspective of what Mark is thinking, it's kind of like the new technology that's like one step further that's unnecessary that you do not need is the left hand. It's like a CD. I didn't need the CD in the first place, and you get now we gotta use CDs? Okay, but now what do I need next? Oh, a left-handed CD. Exactly the same thing, works exactly the same way, completely unnecessary. I think that's just, like, might be one of the things that's going through his mind when he's writing a line like that. Or fuck, it could be anything else for all I know, but that's what I like to think about. It's some more unnecessary technology in his life. And then we get more references to Mark's favorite mammal, the wolverine. He's always
He
coming
doesn't.
back to the wolverine. I think he just likes the way that word
Mm.
sounds.
Yeah, just saying it over and over again. Yeah, yeah. My daughter came loves the song right now, and I was like, "What do you like about this?" And she was like, "Oh, I just like to sing atypical." She's like, "I like that
Oh,
word.
yeah, that's a
It's
good
fun to
word.
say." I'm like,
That
yeah."
is a
She's
good
like,
word.
I'm like, "Oh, yeah." She's like, "I don't even know what it means." And I was like going through, I'm like looking up what the song means, trying to. She's like, "I just like I just like to say it."
That is a yeah, that's a good word. It has a good cadence to it. Yeah, and then I like that because then, like, Mark is so good at that where he takes, like, even a word that you wouldn't think is that interesting, verbally, and then he makes it sound good by just pronouncing it the only way that he could,
Fits
yeah,
he can and fits in the song. Like, yeah.
he yeah, the only way that it fits into a line, yeah. And then the way that the song wraps up is like is the artistic mark, in fact, got rid of the vermin, like the gray squirrels, by reading out Ben Marshall's articles or the use or the user recordings on his vile manufacturing community. I'm from Barry. And so that one, for those that are not aware, and I think most of like real fall heads are aware, there was an article that came out, and I think it was an interview with that Mark did with Mr. Ben Marshall. And so that's why he ties him into this, and where Mark kind of more or less said that he might have taken some maybe gardening tools to a squirrel that was, messing with his garden, and then it blew up into a big a thing, and then it's into a song. So that's kind of like the full circle of a Mark, telling a story that may be true or may not be true, and then it just kind of works its way around into the song when he needs to, get back and cut someone down that has made his life a little bit uncomfortable for a minute.
Oh, he doesn't forget, right? Oh, you made it. You made it into the carrier bag. Now you'll live in infamy.
I love that he doesn't forget. I love that he holds these grudges. And then remember at even like at the beginning of our journey when we were like reading about him, like questioning the interviewers about the songs that they said they liked that they wrote about, right? Because he read all the periodicals. He's like, and he's like questioning them. He's like, "Yeah, you said you liked that." He's like, "What?" He's like, "Did you really like that shit?" Like I love that it's like always stuck in there. It's like it just shows how clear his like fucking brain like processed and stored things. Always pulling references, always like it's kind of like a fucking like very, very impressive library reference card catalog that he just was like fucking flipping through or like put in cards in the wrong way and then it's coming out fucking great. I like this.
Yeah, which is why he always had just such disdain for shitty music journalists, right?
Mhm.
It's like, fuck, I
Yeah.
know way more than you, and you're being paid to come here and talk to me, and like you don't even know what you're doing.
I know way more than you, and I'm using it to my advantage.
Oh yeah, I
I'm
mean,
using it
which
to
is
inform my art. Yeah, you're writing about it, and or maybe just like critiquing it. Maybe. Okay, that was cool. That's cool. I like that. I say we're 2 for 2. I
two for
think
two.
we're batting 100. We're batting 1,000 leading off the album. So let's get into track 3. Mexico Wax Solvent.
This is an extension of the George of Mexico. And I tell you this, it is Aqua Rosa. Aqua Rosa. Aqua Rosa. Holy broke and that hanging the 30s expats is owned on Quality Street. There goes old Gilio. There goes that Yorkie. There goes old Archibald Yates. Make it go. X is the third consonant. They love their governments in Mexico. Winner of Britain's lowest price. glasses. Trimmerville's kicking in, and barbiturates are kicking in. It's the winner of Britain's lowest prices. I don't make rice with screwdrivers. I'll fry chicken with a trowel. Where's a busto? I'll be a wrench or sachet of sex in this marvelous empire. It is winner of Britain's lowest empire. And the lowest prices is Mexico. Clicky shoulders make me wince. And 12-year-old doctor and fresh-faced physician gives a note based on liars. So I don't have to stand at a door staring at other people, our mothers. Extremely drawn, double placard drawn.
No, that one fucking is unbelievable. That's an unbelievable song.
Did you just like him just shitting on Mexico? And the British that come there and their little tum-tums can't handle it?
I as much as there is like the title, it starts off with it. There's the Aqua Rosa. There's all of these, the expats. There's all these things that are you pointed to the Mexico theme. I think that this song is actually about him being in the hospital and
Yeah.
and things going on around him. Like like when he's talking about at one point the chicken and rice
I don't make rice with a screwdriver.
screwdrivers.
I don't make fried
Yeah.
chicken with a trowel. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that, and then I also kinda take that I don't think it's what he's going for, but I think because 'cause I'm taking it as, like, he's also in the hospital, but kinda thinking about all these expats in Mexico and, like, doing their thing, but then he's, like, staring at the 12-year-old doctor, whether it be in front of him that's working on him, or that looks like a 12-year-old, or if it's Mr. Doogie Howser
Sure.
on TV, and it's just like, he's kind of in this very sterile environment. When he says, like, he hates it when people's back what does he say? Something like people's back things pop or, like, back muscle I gotta find it. Clicky
Oh, the
shoulders make
clicky
me
shoulders.
wince. Clicky shoulders make me wince, and I also picture that as, like, people coming in to, like,
Yeah.
help him out with the bedpan or whatever, or just give him another IV injection of his barbiturates. His Tramadine is kicking in. I don't know, there's just all these things that in here that are just, like it has I think it's 2 things at once, which I think is, like, the most loveliest part
Sure.
about the writing. And it's probably even more than that, honestly. It's kind of even more multidimensional than just those 2 things. I also like I like the making the chicken and rice with the screwdrivers, but I also was thinking, what if he's, like, in the hospital, right? And he's like, I just want the fucking fried chicken and rice and then a screwdriver. I just want the orange
Yeah.
juice and vodka inside the side and just give me something fucking good. Like, I don't want this fucking hospital bullshit on a sloppy seat. I think we can guess what something like that might be. Hand me the wrench. Hand me the wrench is like, I'll fix it myself. I'm invincible. I'm invincible is great too if you picture that kind of scene going on, which I do. In the hospital, he's like, "I'm fucking invincible. You're not taking me down. You need to take out another organ. Take out another one. Take out another one. I don't need them. I don't need them. I got the Tramadine." You know that what the Tramadine is? It's like a
The
antibiotic powder.
Is that right?
Yeah, I think it's
Trimidine?
I think it's for animals, but I'm not positive. No, yeah, I had to look it up, but no, I can't even
Yeah.
be bothered.
Trimidine
Yeah,
and barbiturates. He's riding high.
yeah, that's a good combo. That's a good combo. I also like that if that's about him too, because that's kind of a fun joke. Like they gave him like the animal antibiotics. They didn't give him.
Sure.
They didn't give him the human stuff. They gave him the animal stuff. Is like, oh, like, the musician. The musician doesn't need it. He needs the animal stuff. Actually, that's probably
Yeah,
more
or just
powerful.
even just like, oh, the antibiotics you can just buy in Mexico, right? Oh, I'll just take that. That's fine. My
Yeah, I'll take
belly
that.
hurts.
Exactly. Exactly. That's
It's
way
on
cheaper.
shelf.
That's gonna
That's
get it done.
yeah,
That'll get the job
yeah.
done, right? Si, senor, si. No
Yeah, I
problemo.
like Mark says he took a cruise from America to Cancun, and then he goes on to say that he's got a very he always gets on along very well with the Mexicans in America. Oh, they love him in Frisco, California.
I could see them loving him. They would think he's a fucking kick. Get him a 40 of some Mexican beer. That's good.
Oh yeah.
That's good. That's all he needs. Nice and warm. Put it on the hot pavement, the California pavement. Get that warmed up to room temperature, just the way he likes it. Not too cold on the old teeth. Oh man,
Mark
that's a good song.
Mark
You like that
just
one? You like
yeah, oh
that?
yeah. I like the groove the song gets into the whole time.
Oh yeah,
And
it's a good
again,
groove.
yeah, like you said, the lyrics are great. Like, Mark's delivering what he does best, and it's kind of not been that way for in that many tracks lately.
And it's fun too because when you I read the track listing for this before I listened to it the first time, and when you hear Mexico Wax Solvent, you kind of think that it's going to be a callback. You just assume, and it's like another one of the great like Markisms to throw you off the track like that hard. You think it's going to sound like something that was like a throwaway from Imperial Wax Solvent, and
Sure.
I guess it could be on there, but for me, it doesn't really fit at all. Like I was expecting like some sort of a little bit more of a machine type thing, and it
And
wasn't.
and Mark said
It's cool.
he like wrote that down and didn't really want to use it, but everyone else liked it. The record company, the producers, and so he said, "Okay, fine. You gave one to the boys."
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah, he was like, yeah, he's like,
you
yeah, I
didn't
didn't
like
really,
that?
I wouldn't have named it that. I didn't really want it that,
Hmm.
but everyone else liked it, so I said, okay, we can keep it.
Man, that's interesting because I think that one really came together well, and that just shows that sometimes
And I
he
think
didn't even know.
no, and I think a lot of times, I don't think he didn't like the song. He didn't like the title, and I
Yeah,
think
I think I'm with him, honestly. I think he could have used,
yeah, no, it
any
wasn't. It's
line in
not that
there.
he didn't like
Yeah.
the song. He didn't like the title of the song. He said he
Huh.
would have changed that. He didn't want to play off, in the prior
The
album. He
last
didn't want
one.
to
Yeah.
include Mexico into it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I think
Uh,
that's interesting too that he didn't just change it though. He could have just changed the title, but it kinda goes with, like, the next one we're about to get into, Cowboy George, and how basically he was asked about it and the story kept changing. So let's get into this one, which is another really, really excellent track, Cowboy George.
George. Low fat cab meal. I want. Said I wanna. I hate you. You low fat liners in cabaret. Unseen footage. Unseen facts. Unseen knowledge. red lemons. I bite into a mountain. I want to fall into a hill, into the hill, into the hill, into the hill. Unseen knowledge, unseen facts, unseen footage. Unseen knowledge, unseen hills, unseen facts.
How's that one hitting?
I mean, our boy Kieran is just freaking must be a sweaty mess after that.
Man, I love that one. That's like one of my current favorite fall. I put that in like the category of the simple fall song, like lyrically,
Sure.
like you either get the lyrically simple or lyrically complex. Those are my fall categories because everything else, like musically, is diverse. You can't really categorize that with the repetition going on. But this one is like in the minimalist category. I really love it. I love that the lines that are used, it's not straightforward, it's abstract, but then at the same time, there is a story going on. And there is a story about something that's unknown. And there's also something that's going on that's like something is supposed to be reformed or something. There's like a refinement that's supposed to be taking place. And maybe it is, and maybe it's not. I feel like it's not, and it's like this character is just moving forward and, like, getting into more of a mess and a situation that is just getting more and more messy until it kind of just dissolves into itself, and that's something I really like too. It's just, like, not really giving you there's no fucking moral to wrap
Right.
your head around. It's
Which
just
I think
going
is
badly.
Which I think is cool because you got Cowboy George, Mr. PP Greenway, who loves
Yes.
this rockabilly, and then
Mhm.
you use that influence and you just kind of go into like the spaghetti western story, right? Like
Yeah.
none of those westerns really make any sense. Like they kind of do, they kind of don't. Like what's going on? Like it's just this dusty old town. No,
Yeah.
even the good guy, is he doing the right thing or is he just doing what he thinks is best? Like, do people like it or not? Like, is this that kind of that same, is this
Is
the
it just
story of
comforting?
those?
It's just
Yeah,
comforting. Yeah,
is it better? Oh, this bad guy might
yeah,
be taken care of, but are you a good guy? Like, nobody really
yeah.
knows. Like,
That's why the best westerns are the ones that are in the gray zone where you don't know, right? You're like, he has to save his land, but then is he really saving his land by like committing all these like heinous acts, to get right? Everyone's got a backstory, and I think that's what
yeah,
it is. Everyone's got a
are
backstory.
you're a
How
good
deep can
bad
you
guy all of
go?
a sudden? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's what it is,
I
like, that if you have the unseen footage if you had the unseen footage, then you would know more about the backstory, and it might make it seem like, "No, oh, you're good, you're righteous," right? But you don't have that. Or you might not have the footage that shows that you're a total fucking inept mess of a person that's dangerous, and then that's why you're walking in with 2 fucking broken bottles and about to be a slash fest, mate.
I'll give you 1,000 guesses to predict or guess what movie tried to buy the rights to this song.
Oh,
I'll give you
okay.
2 right now.
Oh, no,
They
no,
tried
no,
to buy the
actually,
rights. Mark wasn't.
this is just a test of memory because I did read I did read what it was. And let me try to recall this. I know if I did not know, if I did not read this, you're right. I would have no chance. But sorry to tell you, it is Twilight, the movie Twilight.
Yeah. Twilight. Yeah, they tried to buy the
Well,
exclusive
here,
rights
no,
for this.
I think you're missing one part though. I think here's the story I remember, and that's Twilight asked The Fall for a song for for the movie. Now, I think Mark made the wrong decision by giving them this song. I think he gave them this song and they said, "No." This song would
Well,
there's no chance this song would fit into the teenage vampires. Are
I
you
mean,
kidding me?
just no lyrics or just like weird minimal lyrics. I mean, that you could make it work, but
I guess if they're
it,
driving in a car, I guess if they're
yeah,
driving
I
in
don't
a
know, or
car,
running through some woods or something. I don't know.
it would make that
He says
movie a lot better. I don't remember if I even
yeah,
saw
they
it.
said they didn't write it for the film, but they wanted to use it exclusively for the film, which would have taken it from the album.
They should have just I could have picked okay, let's pick a different song off of this. I would have picked Weather Report.
I think it was at the time of
I would have picked
Imperial
Oh,
Wax
Imperial
album
Wax, and
too.
he was already playing this one. I
Yeah.
mean, this is good. I don't know. What song would you pick for Twilight off of this album or the last one? Come on, give the Twilight producers something good. What are you gonna give them?
Yeah, I mean, I've watched Twilight more
Oh, so
times
you
than I
know,
would want to admit.
so you
I
know,
mean, what I
exploding
mean,
chimneys going on there.
the only option really is Kittle Man, right? I mean, there's werewolves in the movie. You gotta give him Wolf Kittle Man.
Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Because you know, sure as hell is I've been duped is not going to be fit in the vibe. But what about the Torig? I like that. The
Yeah, that could
Torig.
work.
I like that. It's instrumental basically, and you got that synth. That's kind of cool. Okay. Yeah. What if
Tommy Shooter might work too.
no? What if 50-year-old dad
50-year-old.
pops out of nowhere? There's a bunch of teenagers turning into
And yeah,
vampires.
just give
50-year-old
it.
man comes out.
It's just the dad. It's just the dad walking around town.
Uh,
And I think he was a cop, right? You could have pulled
the
that.
dad comes out of nowhere. Oh my god. Oh, I didn't even know there was a dad in that movie. I thought it was just kids turning into
What's her
vampires.
name?
Oh,
Bella. Bella is the girl. So her dad. Yeah, I think he was a cop.
no. Well,
You
I mean,
know, the
that's
things you do for love. Watching Twilight over and over again.
yeah. That's why you were doing it.
Yeah, no,
Uh,
it wasn't my choice. I didn't
well,
see it in theaters or anything.
no, you didn't spend that much money on it. But thank God, I mean, thank God it won the Oscar and it deserves the Oscar. So, Steve, let's listen to one more track and or should we just flip over the album art now? I'm just kind of like on the cusp because the track list is so fucked up. CD version and the LP version, I just don't know where to go here. We're like almost halfway. You want another track or do you want to should we think we've had enough and we need to flip this sucker over?
Let's get through this. I'm not a happy camper about this album art. So let's just get it out of my system.
Okay, let's listen to a good
And
song instead. Yeah, let's listen to a good song and
all
then
right,
prime ourselves. Let's listen to
yeah.
Hot Cake. Steve, what's going on in this hot cake?
He's stuck on the slippy floor.
Yeah, the slippy floor is coming up here, and he also says it was Chino like last song, which is another song that's coming up that we're not to yet. And so I like that there's all of these references to other tracks. I'm not gonna lie, originally when I listened to this multiple times, I thought that he said it was Cheeto, like the last song, and I thought he was talking about Cheetos because it's Flamin' Hot Cheetos,
Flamin'
and
Hots.
it doesn't seem like that'd be something Mark would be into.
Oh man, I don't think he could handle that.
I don't think he could either. I think that would tear him up. Does he Terry, can you imagine him having, like, that flaming hot Cheeto dust around his lips,
No,
around the
no,
microphone?
no.
Oh, man.
All over his fingertips. Yeah, no,
Oh, that would be kind of fun. I could if he was a spokesperson for that, that would be kind of fun for a commercial, but no, I don't think he's gonna be ingesting those. Doesn't really go with whiskey or lager at all.
no. It's not gonna work for him.
No. Yeah. What about this hotcake?
It grew on me. I love the deep bass just chugging along. I did not
Mhm.
like Eleni's "Ows" for a while, and then after enough times,
Oh, yeah, yeah, it's kinda fun.
I fell into that. I was like,
Yeah.
the more you go, the better you get.
Yeah, I think it's only just because it's her, it kinda makes it better. If that was like if that was one of the dudes doing it, I'd be
Yeah,
like, "Eh, I don't know if the "woo" if you need the
yeah.
"woo," but since she's doing it in a nice way, I think it is like a kind of an wormy type of thing. Almost like a Bricks-esque kind of thing where you're like,
Yeah,
"Wow, I'm
something.
just hearing it over and over again," and it's kinda buried itself in there.
Do
Yeah, I think
you
this is one that's interesting and
do
has
you
grown on me.
have do you have or have you ever used a hot cake?
Is a hot cake urinal cake?
Maybe, but it's also a guitar pedal, guitar
Oh,
distortion
yeah,
pedal.
there's a guitar pedal, you're right, yeah.
That Pete
Was that
Greenway,
out? Was that out?
yeah,
Oh.
1976 it was invented, and Pete Greenway
Oh, damn. Okay. It was out.
Pete Greenway does in fact use the hotcake pedal.
Oh, that's cool.
So I'm
Yeah.
sure Mark looked down at that and tried to kick it a bunch of times and said, "Huh, that's an interesting name. I can do something with that."
Damn, what isn't it so weird that he was struggling with names? Like, or, like, trying to pick them out, kind of, but he wasn't struggling for words as he never was. Huh. And fully, never even that's one thing I would love to ask Marky Smith if he was still around is, did he ever have a writer's block period? Because from the outside, it doesn't look like he did, even though we all agree there are some things that are not as strong as others, as far as just relating them to his own output, not to anyone else. There's just, there's kinda just like the little kinda different tiers of his writing strengths, and
And yeah, it's
yeah.
certainly like rushed periods of time where things needed to get made and
Yeah, yeah,
produced
yeah.
and like, oh, we need to get an album, we need to get paid, we need more money. Like we got to
That
go forward whether we're ready or not.
I I
Um,
think that's what it is. I think and that's, like, the kinda thing that you have to appreciate about him is he wouldn't feel bad about, throwing some lyrics together on a page and then putting them on a track and then moving forward because he's not gonna be self-conscious about it, and I think that's what I love about Marky Smith, the writer and the deliverer. If it's shit, it's shit, and then good thankfully, there's gonna be something new I'm gonna be working on next week, right?
e- exactly. I mean, and like this is his art, and like every artist doesn't everything's not a every book isn't fantastic. Every poem isn't going to be there, but he was willing to create with what he had at the moment. And yeah, it doesn't ever seem like he truly was like stuck or he with a true writer's block. He's like, I just can't
Yep.
make anything, right? He was always
Mhm.
willing to dig into the old well and see what came out.
I mean, if you're even being cautious about assuming that you know, he had unlimited supply of lyrics and words, just go listen to our Marky Smith side journey episodes. There's there's so many side collaborations that he did that are just like the man was not fucking hurting. He was not hurting to get words on paper. And I think that's a good place for us to wrap up side A here, Steve. And if you're liking what you're hearing, let's get into side B because this album is going places. Let me tell you that. And the first place it's going is someplace very kind of disappointing, which is the album art. And we're going to get into that on side B. But until then, we are the fall.
We are the best.